What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Nerd Media. And with the conclusion of Andor ending last week, I really wanted to sit down and rank my top 5 Star Wars projects of all time, like including TV shows, including movies, including everything. Just my top 5 favorite pieces of Star Wars content that we have gotten since the beginning. So we're going to be diving into my top 5 of Star Wars with some honorable mentions in this video. I would love to hear your ranking down below in the comments because Star Wars is a very beloved franchise. I know, you guys know, without Star Wars, none of this would be here for me because Star Wars is really what really made me love just sci-fi nerdy stuff. So I always will love Star Wars forever. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Nerd Media. I talk about movies, TV shows, and comic books all the time on the channel. Today we're obviously talking about Star Wars, but we also got Mission Impossible coming up this week. We got Lilo and Stitch. We also got some Thunderbolt stuff we're going to be talking about. We have a lot of other Star Wars content, Fantastic Four, Superman, Avengers Doomsday, all of that stuff on this channel. So if you're into that stuff, the nerdy stuff, subscribe, comment down below what your opinion is for your top 5 Star Wars. And with all that being said, let's dive right into the ranking. So kicking things off, I have 2 honorable mentions for my favorite Star Wars projects. The first one is going to be going to the Clone Wars. I really enjoy this show. I binged the whole thing maybe 3 years ago, and I just gotta say, I really loved it. The first few seasons for me personally were just kind of rough to sit through because they weren't really grabbing my attention as much, but I would say maybe around season 4 or 5, it really grabbed my attention and it just had me for the rest. And the final season of this show may be some of the best Star Wars stuff in the Clone Wars era. I mean, maybe probably the best. And it's just genuinely phenomenal Star Wars content in those final few scenes, in those final few episodes. And it seriously is a really entertaining and fun show that does add a lot of context to the events in between all of the prequel films. And I just enjoy the show. I mean, it's a Star Wars animated series where we see all these returning characters that everybody loves. We get the introduction of Ahsoka, and I really enjoyed this show. I thought that it was a lot of fun, and the only reason that it's really this high is because of that final season and how much I loved it. Getting into my second and final honorable mention, I'm going to give it to Star Wars The Force Awakens. I think that this movie is not bad. Sure, I don't like the other 2 Disney Star Wars films that they have made, and a lot of people don't like all 3 of them, but I think that The Force Awakens was actually a well-crafted story that really set something up that could have been really fun and a fun continuation of the Star Wars universe, but it just falls flat. But this is a very good kind of pilot to the new trilogy. I enjoyed it. I think it has a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great moments, and a lot of great visuals and just fun story elements that I really liked. And although it's not the best and peak of Star Wars, it still does bring back that old nostalgia of having Star Wars return after so long. And I really do feel like it kind of nailed that. And I really do enjoy this film. This was the main movie that really made me just fall in love with Star Wars. So I always have that tiny little appreciation for it. And no, it's not perfect, but it's definitely the best of the Disney films. And even that's not saying a lot, but still, it's a good movie. So getting into my top 5, number 5 is going to go to Andor. You guys know I loved Andor. Season 1 is phenomenal, 10 out of 10 for me. And Season 2, I'd probably give an 8, 8.5, maybe leaning towards a 9, but I think I'm going to stick to 8.5. I really love this show. It seriously is just beautiful writing, beautiful storytelling, and just some of the best of Star Wars just in general. Like, it's able to tell some really grounded and gut-wrenching stories that somehow grab the same intensity as Revenge of the Sith's Mustafar battle. Like, it really just is able to do that and just have these amazing characters and well-written characters that just are going through this internal conflict that we have been seeing for years now. They're getting a different perspective of it in such a grounded, mature, and gritty way that I personally really loved, and I loved that tone for Star Wars. I'm sad that this show is over, but I definitely am happy that it's ending before it could possibly just fall flat. And obviously, the story leads up to Rogue One. I loved this show, and it was just really great. And if I were to do a ranking of all the Star Wars TV shows, Andor would be number 1, just so you guys know, because I may or may not do that in the future, depending. I mean, I've tuned out of some Star Wars shows in recent years, like The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, but, I definitely loved Andor, and that's why it's my number 5. Getting into number 4, I'm going to give it to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I love this movie. I can understand why some people wouldn't like this movie and just think that it's not great. There are some flaws with the writing and the storytelling and the pacing, I think personally, but I just have so much fun with this movie. It genuinely is like peak Star Wars fiction for me. It is the best of the prequels, and I really just love how this story is told, how well paced it is in my opinion. The lightsaber battles, Obi-Wan, Anakin, everybody, all of it is just so wonderful, and it's such a great Star Wars film, and it really just brings everything you love about Star Wars into one film. Like, I genuinely just had such a blast rewatching this in the theater a few weeks ago. It was so much fun. It was great, and I understand where people will have flaws. I don't think this is a perfect movie. I think I give it a 4.5 out of 5, and that's like a 90 for me, like a 90% out of 100. So I think that, this movie is definitely great, and it's just peak Star Wars for me personally, but I definitely don't think it's perfect by any means. I think that this movie is fun, it's great, and it's awesome, and it's just genuinely some of the best of Star Wars, but it's definitely not perfect. Now, getting into my top 3, this may be the most generic top 3 you guys are going to see, and probably the most basic one you're going to see, but number 3 is going to go to Return of the Jedi. I get why some people don't like this movie, I guess. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but when I remember watching it, I loved it, and I just really loved the vibes, the conclusion of the whole trilogy. I thought it all kind of weaved in very, very beautifully and well, and I just really think that everything about it really just kind of hit the nail on the head there, and it was really just great. And I really think that the OG Star Wars trilogy is an unmatched trilogy, and I think that all 3 of them are perfect movies. I think Return of the Jedi is just so much fun. It is so great. It's a beautiful conclusion to Star Wars, the OG trilogy at least, and we get some great lightsaber battles, some great full circle moments that get added context with things like Revenge of the Sith, and just so many great moments that I just really cherish as iconic Star Wars moments. Like, this movie has very, very iconic things in it that just make it a staple in just movies in general. I love this movie. It's great. I think I'm due for a rewatch on it though, just to witness this greatness again. And I personally I love it. I love this movie. I know a lot of people don't, but it's peak to me. Number 2 is going to go to A New Hope. I love this movie. You guys know I love Star Wars, but this movie is what started. Number 2 is going to go to A New Hope. This is the thing that started Star Wars, and it seriously is just such a cinematic achievement, but not even just that and how it's impacted movies in general. My personal enjoyment of this film really does go up as I watch it more and more. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but I have watched it a few times, and I've enjoyed it more and more each time. I think that, obviously, without the added context of everything else that we get after it, I think this movie still is great. Like, the Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff and Darth Vader, knowing that they have some history together in that final battle is great, and I just really enjoy the origin story of Luke, and we get to see Obi-Wan kind of mentor him. I just really, really think that it is not only a cinematic achievement for movies, it seriously is just the beginning of one of the best stories told for fiction sci-fi films that I personally always love going back to and watching. Like, this top 3, I seriously never get bored watching them over and over again. If you told me that I had to watch these 3 Star Wars movies over and over again for the rest of my life, I would say okay, because genuinely they are so entertaining, so action-packed, so lore and storytelling filled, but they do it in fun ways. It's just really peak of the peaks that you can really get. I know I'm throwing that word around a lot, but it genuinely is, and I just really, really love this movie. Number 1 is going to go to Empire Strikes Back. I just rewatched this film about a month ago, and yeah, it still holds up, and I really do feel like this top 3 is very interchangeable. Like, some days I may have Return of the Jedi at the top, some days I may have A New Hope. That's what I love about these rankings, is that they can always be interchangeable, and that's just how good the movies are. But Empire really just brings the Star Wars franchise to a new level, and it seriously has like a bunch of new world building that really is yet again fun, and just a lot of great moments. Some of the most iconic Star Wars stuff ever is in this. You get some really awesome and great visuals and lightsaber battles that are really amazing that they pulled some of that off back when this was made, and I just really enjoy this story. Like, I don't know where I would be without the introduction to Star Wars in my life, and having this film as kind of like the pinnacle of Star Wars, I think really just is special. And the fact that we refer to movies like that, the fact that we refer to movies like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as the Empire Strikes Back of that franchise is really just special, because that movie has had such an impact. And the fact that we were able to reference that movie and kind of say that this movie is the Empire Strikes Back of whatever trilogy or franchise it is really special, and it really shows that impact that it has had. And it's just, in general, is just such a great and fun journey to experience, and it's just such a fun Star Wars story. And again, this top three could be interchangeable at as much as it possibly will be. Probably for the rest of my life, it's going to be interchangeable. But for now, Empire Strikes Back, the pinnacle of Star Wars. It is probably the most significant one of all of them in terms of cinematic history. I just love it because it just has so many great moments that really just make you realize, yeah, this is why I love Star Wars. We get Yoda, we get the great Luke, I am your father moment, we get a great Darth Vader and Luke battle, and we just get a lot of fun moments with the team like Leia, Han, C-3PO, and Chewbacca. We get a lot of fun moments with them as well, which really kind of builds on that, and I just really enjoyed it. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below what your top 5 Star Wars projects are, and are they interchangeable? Could they always be changing? Is that just how great Star Wars is? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down below what you thought, and if you stuck around the video this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.